Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Short shifts here, and we're going to do things a little bit differently today. And Jeff and I are both extremely busy. I'm on the road. I'm currently in Columbus, Ohio right now. Over the past 2 days, worked with the Ohio AAA Blue Jackets, and the next couple days I'll be in the Cleveland area working with Rocky River Youth Hockey Association. And so with that, doing things a little different, like I said, and wanted to tell everybody a little bit of a story, just something from my past, something from my background, and I think it's really useful, hopefully, potentially, for all the kids that are out there listening, and even the parents as well. And as the story goes, so when I was 16 years old, so USA Hockey has these things called the Select Festivals, and in the summertime they bring all into one place the top, I don't know, 200 or so players in the country from each different region, each different district, and they have a little bit of a showcase. And from that showcase, they pick a team to represent Team USA at a tournament called the Five Nations. And it's a great tournament. And for 16-year-olds that are kind of on that path, it's a phenomenal experience. USA Hockey does a great job putting those on. And when I was 16 years old, I was fortunate enough to actually be selected to go to, at the time it was in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Now it is in Buffalo, New York. But just a real thrill. And for me, it was always a dream to play for Team USA. I wanted to play in the NHL, but to represent my country, I love my country. It was a dream of mine to wear the red, white, and blue, and so I go out to St. Cloud, Minnesota, just jacked. You can't wait. I had been to Select 15s the year before, had a great experience, and was ready to keep going. And so at the tournament, I played really well. Played really well, and played well enough that I was actually the fourth leading scorer in the tournament. And so I was so excited coming out of that last game, just jacked. Played really well. I'm like, hey, I'm going to make this team. I'm going to make Team USA. And so I get into our locker room after the last game, and I get to my stall to take my equipment off, and I look over to my right, and there's a teammate of mine who's got an envelope on his stall. Then another teammate of mine a little bit further down to the left who also had an envelope on their stall. And seeing who those players were, that envelope meant you made the team. And in my stall, I didn't have an envelope, and so I was dejected. Couldn't believe it. I thought I played so well, fourth leading scorer in the camp out of 200 people, and didn't have an envelope in my stall. And so couldn't believe that I didn't get that contract, right, to represent Team USA. And so feeling really dejected. And so I get showered up and start to get ready to leave the locker room. And all of a sudden, the coach for Team USA comes in, and he's looking for me. And so he goes, hey, is Topher in here? And I kind of raised my hand. I'm like, hey, I'm right here, coach. And so he's like, I'd love to talk to you out in the hallway for a sec. And so I go out in the hallway with him, and I'm kind of getting my hopes back up, right? I'm like, oh man, I think I made it. Maybe they just forgot my envelope. And so the coach brings me out, and he goes, hey, just want to let you know, thought you played extremely well. Extremely well. Made a lot of play. I don't remember exactly what he said, but thought you played really well. However, as Team USA, we're going over there. We're playing a bunch of European teams, small skilled teams, and because we're going over there, we want to have this kind of identity of big and aggressive and tough. Because of that, we're not going to take you because of your size. And again, I don't remember the exact, way that he worded it or anything, but basically they were bringing over a big tough team. I'm 5'4", and so because of that reason, they're not going to take me, but I deserve to make the team. Just wanted to let me know. And obviously huge gut punch. It took everything in my power not to like break down right in that moment, because size certainly isn't something that I can control. And so just feeling really down. And thinking back to it to this day, I understand what he was doing. He was trying to be nice. It was actually a very kind gesture to tell me that I played really well and I deserved to make the team and tell me the reason why I didn't. But certainly at the time, I was pissed. I was extremely pissed, to say the least. And so I get my equipment and I get my dad. My dad drove up with me, and we get in the car, and I'm just like, "Let's get the hell out of here, Dad." And so, and then this is where I'm a huge believer in the car ride home for all the parents that are listening to this right now. In the car ride home, I am just throwing myself the biggest pity party you could ever imagine. This isn't fair. Can't believe this happened. He's wrong. Just extremely upset at what just went down. And I'll never forget the conversation I had with my dad after that. And I was going on, throwing myself that pity party, and eventually my dad looks over to me and in only a way a dad could, he goes, "So are you done?" And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Are you done?" And I go, "Done with what?" And he said something to the effect of, do you want to have an honest conversation, or do you want me to tell you what you want to hear right now?" And so I was kind of like, "All right, like let's have an honest conversation." And he goes, "Hey, look, man, here's the facts. You're 5'4". You have to be that much better than everybody else just to be even. And just to be even, if you want to be that much better than everybody else, you better work that much harder than everybody else just to be even. So we can sit here and we can whine and complain and mope and make excuses about how life's not fair. Or he asked me one question that I think fundamentally changed my life. And that was, what are you going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? And so I am so grateful for my dad for that conversation. And whenever I get the opportunity to get in front of parents, I tell them that, if their kid does have a hope or a dream of playing at the highest levels of hockey, one of the most important conversations in their life is going to be the conversation with mom and dad after they hit adversity, especially their first adversity. And I don't know a lot of players that I've played with or coached that have gotten to the highest levels of the game that were excuse makers. They're just not. The two biggest consistencies of the players that I know that have reached their potential are, number one, they absolutely love the game of hockey, and number two, they take ownership and accountability for everything that they do. And so, I'm very thankful for my dad for having that conversation with me and not letting me make excuses or not making excuses for me, because I'm very proud of the career that I had. And the crazy part is that summer after that conversation, I was going to make sure that something like that never happened again. My size was never going to be a determining factor of me reaching my dreams. And so I got to work and I fell in love with the weight room, and I put in all this time and really dedicated myself to being a hockey player. And a year later, I'm playing in the USHL in the Fall Classic. And if you don't know what the USHL Fall Classic is, it is a tournament where the USHL brings all of its teams together for a week. And it's the biggest recruiting weekend of the year. It used to be at the time anyway. And still is. But I go to the Fall Classic and we play 4 preseason games, and I lead the tournament in scoring, the entire tournament in scoring. And I'll never forget, after my last game, I walk out of our locker room, and there was a rule that colleges could not come out and talk to you until after your last game at the time. And I had a ton of schools and schools that I dreamed of going to play for that were lined up to talk to me. And I think back to that conversation that I had with my dad. And had he made excuses for me, and had he let me think that life is not fair, and how that was the detriment to my career, I would not have had that opportunity. And so I get out of the locker room. I'm talking to all these colleges the next week. I'm setting up visits and getting scholarship offers and all these kinds of things. And my first preseason, or my first regular season game in the USHL was that next week. and we're playing up in Green Bay. It's actually the first game ever that was played at the new Resch Center in Green Bay, Wisconsin, the USHL. And I'm playing in the game and I'm riding a high. I'm playing really, really well. And in the second period, I'm bringing the puck inside the zone on an entry. I pass the puck to my right winger. I'm in the middle of the ice. I drive the net. My right winger shoots the puck. Goalie saves it, goes to cover it. I go to stop, and then boom, knee torn out, just blown out knee, torn ACL, everything, done for months. And so after riding that high from that fall classic and getting all these college attention and my knee's done and a lot of those schools, the ones that I wanted to go to, they didn't call me back. I guess a 5'4" player with a bum knee was not marketable at the time, and so it was right back to square one. And again, this is where I give my parents all the credit. It was, hey, like, yeah, this sucks. This is a really, really tough situation, but it was always what's a positive that we can find out of this? How can we take this situation and find a positive out of it? And that was it was a tough bunch of months there, grueling to get back, and I was determined, and I had a great support system, family, friends, teammates, coaches that helped me get through that tough time. And later on down the road, I end up committing to Cornell, who the year before went to the Frozen Four. And I'm very proud of my hockey career. I scored 100 points as a Division I player, was a captain for 2 years at Cornell. Played a tiny bit of pro hockey as a 5'4" player, even though he wasn't the NHL by any means. And was a Division I, worked at three Division I universities, Michigan and Cornell and Miami of Ohio, three great hockey programs. And the message hopefully is that I believe I succeeded because of the tough stuff. I succeeded because of the adversity. It made me who I am. It made me mentally tough. It made me love the game that much more. And when we hit our adversity, we need to have people in our corner who are there to support us, but are also there to help us find the positive and to help us not feel sorry for ourselves and make excuses for it. It's a part of the journey. It's a necessary part of the journey. We all are gonna go through our tough stuff. And I promise you, if you come out of it with a positive attitude and you surround yourself with good people and you go in with a mindset of this is going to make me stronger, this is a challenge that I'm going to get through, you will much more be likely to reach your hopes and dreams like I did at the end of the day, than if you make excuses. And so hopefully this is a story that can help you to reach your dreams at the end of the day. And for the support system for these kids, hopefully this is a story. Again, I thank God for my parents and the message that they were always sending me, about finding the positive things and using adversity, using the tough times to just make you stronger. So happy Wednesday, everybody. We appreciate y'all. I know this is a little bit of a different episode with myself traveling so much, but hopefully you can take it and it can help you if you're a kid on your journey, if you're a parent, to help your kids on their journey. So have a great day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.